In case you're wondering what I am, I'm a red blood cell. I actually have like a real reason to be a blood cell too. Like it's not this isn't just like a random thing. The Black Dagger Brotherhood show has arrived. We're here. We're here. When I tell you the hours leading up to this were like some of the longest of my life, I'd be like, wow, I'm so tired. And then I would remember that the Black Dagger Brotherhood TV show was dropping at midnight and it would send like a jolt through my body. I'd be like, it's time. And I literally was making memes. I was cleaning my room. I was doing all sorts of things to just make time go faster. This is just me talking about the show. I feel like this goes without saying, but I will be talking about things in detail. So, spoilers. This TV show, it's on Passionflix. Watch it. I literally, like, if there's one thing that I could beg you to do, it would be to watch this show because literally it's my favorite thing in the world right now. And I don't think I'm going to be able to recover from it ever. I'm going to be on my deathbed thinking about it. Anyway, I did record myself watching it. So, cue the tapes, run the track. Oh my god. What do you mean I have to wait another week? Yo, wait another week. What the freak? I think I'm going to be talking about this in chronological order. I kind of just was like typing down notes and stuff. So it's just going to be the things that I thought were interesting, that were fun. I'm just going to talk about it because I have to do something until the next episode. You know, I have to keep myself occupied somehow. I'm literally so excited for episode 2. I don't think you understand. It's the only thing on my mind. This show is the only thing on my mind. Someone will ask me how I'm doing, and I'm like, the Black Dagger Brotherhood show is on Passionflix right now. The opening shot is the same as the books. We've got Darius and Torment in the club. Torment is so cute. Oh my god, so cute. I wasn't exactly a Torment fan in the books, but the guy was. I literally insert the clip. This is my formal application to be the permanent love interest of one Joel Cedarberg. My name is Ohio, not my real name. I'm 20-something years old. My favorite color is green. I don't want kids, and I prefer waffles over pancakes. Please take my application into consideration. The eyes freak me out, but visually, I think he's a great Torment. We get the iconic interaction between Wrath and Darius. I really like Darius. Definitely not how I imagine him, but that's literally not a problem. I think the Darius is it's not blood, I swear. I really like Darius. The scene where Darius dies, by the way, Darius's death is like my favorite death I've ever read, which is a wild thing to say, but the fact that the not only the rest of the book, but the rest of the series hinges on Darius's death, beautiful, exquisite, so good. My only like I can't call it a critique because I don't think it's a critique. But the only thing I wish was done like slightly different was Darius's death. Like, keep the car explosion, of course, obviously, beautifully done. But basically, Darius gets into the car, and the shot of his face when he's like with that almost like blank look as he's looking out of like the car window before the car turns on, beautiful. However, he turns the car on and he hisses, which me. My mom said it reminded her of our cat Rigby, aka Boofy. But he hisses and he realizes what happened, and he goes Beth, and then the car explodes. Which I understand why they did that. In the book, Darius's last thought is of his daughter before he's blown to the high heavens. So they have to show somehow what his last thought is before he dies, because obviously we can't read his mind. So, like I said, he says Beth, and then the car explodes. I kind of wish the explosion had cut him off. which is like such a minor detail, but instead of it being Beth and then like a smidgen of a pause and then the explosion, it was like Beth explosion. I'm not a professional editor. I was on a film set for all of 4 hours, and it was like a college film set type thing. So I essentially have no experience. I think there's like something slightly more agonizing of him being like cut off and having that thought like taken away from him from the explosion, rather than him being able to complete the thought and the explosion happening. And like the people watching this, most of them know what's gonna happen anyway. I I still love it. Like Darius's death, so good, loved it. But I wanted like a little bit more of like a, you know, the opening. I don't know what it's called, like where the credits roll and all that, with all like the actor names and stuff. Ever did that? This is me bowing down to you. That was so cool. Literally, I keep watching it and I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Thank you for this. Thank you. One of the coolest openings I've ever seen. And then like there's like the little bleed. We meet Beth and Butch separately. Wrath goes to feed Marissa, which I love her. She's perfect. She's got 2 lines, but you can even see like in the recording that I did that I'm like bowing down to her. I'm so excited to see more of her. I don't think you understand. Then Fritz shows up at Diva, and there's one scene where Fritz is like, "Do you need anything?" And then he kind of like bows out of the room, and it like follows him for like slightly too long. Maybe it was intentional, I don't know, but that sent me into the stratosphere when the melatonin in my brain was like firing. When I was so tired, my body ached. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. I had to like pause it because I was like, I need a moment to like process that. No shade. Love Fritz. Love Fritz. The way he exited the room, I'm gonna start doing that for real. We see the Brotherhood for 5 seconds, and I have so many thoughts about this. A bomb, my lord. The dematerializing. So in the trailer, we see this. We fully see the dematerializing, which I, in the 10 times, give or take, that I watched the trailer, I did not connect the dots that that was dematerializing. I thought it was just a technique to introduce the characters. That's on me. That is fully on me. Anyway, they start like appearing and they just like pop up. There's one shot of Marissa appearing, and for some reason, every time I watch it, I'm like, this reminds me of House of Anubis, and I don't know why. I fully don't know why, but it reminds me of House of Anubis. And listen, like, there are obviously going to be things that are different from how I imagine them in the show. I'm not mad about it. But I was thinking it was going to be more like molecule-y, like, in like Avengers Infinity War when they die and they kind of just like fade away. That's what I was imagining. So when it's so when they start like appearing, I'm like, this is fun. This is good. This is good. The Brotherhood shows up one by one. And I want to talk about something very briefly because I kind of wanted to talk about it in my last video when I read the Black Dagger Brotherhood books out of order, but the chance never really arose, and I think I talked for way too much in that video anyway. But the way that the Brotherhood treats Zadist, it's kind of like no wonder he hates them. Like imagine you're at a family gathering with some family members that you see maybe once a year, and your family member is like, "Oh, hey Torment, hey Vicious, hey Rage," and then they turn to you and they're like,
"Oh, hey Zadist, were you out partaking in activities that I looked down on you for as a coping mechanism for the decades of sexual, physical, and mental trauma that you faced? Wonderful of you to join us."
"Get off my dick." Even the books, sorry for the tangent, but the brothers, whenever someone new shows up, they're always like, "Stay away from him. He's evil. He's broken. He needs empathy." Obviously, his personality and actions aren't 100% dictated by the way the Brotherhood treats him, but I feel like with his trauma and then adding on the fact that the people that are closest to you basically think of you as evil and broken, they constantly remind you of that fact. I too would not want to show up at family events on time, and I would also probably react with hostility when someone brings up my trauma like that. Get off my dick. So Wrath decides that he's going to, as a way to honor Darius's death, take care of Beth. You know this. You know this. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. You know this. The scene where he's kneeling on the diamonds and saying he's gonna take care of Beth is probably my favorite scene in the episode. Something about the shot of like his body, but something about it, like beautiful shot. We hear the old language, which sounds like Latin, but I don't know Latin, so I didn't pick anything up. I wonder how they like make languages though. Like for a movie, that's gotta be like a role. We meet Mr. X, and I need you to hold my hand for this. I actually have a very serious question for Passion Flicks. No one in particular, actually, just the company or whatever as a whole. Um, why is Mr. X so fine? Why is he so hot? Like he's talking to the lessers who look like they're taking time out of their 9 to 5 to attend this meeting, and he's standing at the front of the room and he starts talking, and I'm like, wait a minute, because like the hair, the smile, Black Dagger Brotherhood who? He's like buff too, which I think is canon. Um, but for some reason, I always imagined him as like kind of scrawny. I think the letter X just like evokes scrawniness to me. Part of me is mad about it, but a much larger part of me is like, call him Mr. F for how fine he is. Fans don't come for me. I know there's a Mr. F in the future books. We see a lot of Butch, and maybe it's because we don't see so many other characters outside of Butch, Wrath, and Beth. But Butch, phenomenal job. 10 out of 10. He's also very, like, maybe it's in the trailer, but I think the way that he talks in the trailer sounded kind of strange, but in the show it actually kind of sounds natural. So there is also like one scene where I think Butch is talking to Beth, and then Beth like develops a Boston accent. I thought I was making that up. Wrath ends up going to Beth, and the first time he literally jump scare pops up out of nowhere and she's screaming. So he goes back the next night, and the scene where he shows up and just blows smoke in her face, like, I understand why he did it. Like, it makes sense. But I was just like, this is a wild thing to do. And then there's an 8-minute sex scene, and that's episode one. That last shot of him kind of staring out into space while he's holding Beth, loved that shot. Loved it. Because you can actually, like, see so much emotion on his face, and it's almost like you can see, like, his brain working. Like there's a little bit of shock, a little bit of like loved the way it ended. Anyway, like you might have seen in the clip of me recording myself, what do you mean I have to wait? What do you mean I have to wait like another week? Hopefully this is up by the next episode. That'd be it'll keep me occupied. Obviously, if you're curious about the bingo board, did not get bingo, did not expect to get bingo. I am a little bit worried about some things though. We checked off camp, obviously. Vicious shows up and does a tech thing and then says two things and leaves. I did deliberate with my mom, but Wrath popping up on Beth's like back patio or whatever counts as a jump scare. There is a slow-mo scene when Wrath kills the lesser at the beginning of the episode, and we hear the old language. The old language. Hear the old language when Wrath mourns the loss of Darius. Speaking of that scene, I should have put Mail of Worth on the bingo board. Season 2 bingo board, right there. Anyway, those are my quick fire shots, thoughts, words of episode 1 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood TV show. I literally will probably watch it again in an hour, and then I'll probably watch it again after that. I want to be able to like close my eyes and like just watch it. You know what I mean? Like I am so excited. So excited. Episode 2, don't know if I'm gonna do this again. I will see. Anyway, last minute thoughts. I'm excited to see more of the Brotherhood. Definitely excited to see how they like interact with one another. Really excited to see more of Marissa though. Like, what if we just got the episode from Marissa's perspective? That would be good. That would be good. I hope if you're watching this, you enjoyed it too. I hope you, if you haven't watched it, that you go watch it because literally, like, it's so much fun. Such a fun show to watch. Read the books, have a good time, and enjoy the red blood cell because it's gonna go away very soon.